Just got home from the local bank where I picked up a box of pennies and a box of nickels. And looking at the pennies, I can tell that they're circulated. And I even see some copper shining through. No Wheaties that I can tell. And the nickels, they're circulated as well. Not new this time. We're going to go ahead and open this box of pennies. Let's see what we can get. There we go. All right, let's see if we have any enders. Man, there's a lot of copper on those. I looked a little closer, and most of those look like they're probably 1960s coppers. Well, let's go ahead and get into this box. I'm pretty excited. Hopefully, there's a lot of Wheaties. All right, roll number 6. We got our first Wheatie right in the middle of the pile. Let me zoom in so you guys can see it right there. Nice little Wheatie. Let's go ahead and pull that and check it out. Man, the wheat hairs on that look really good. More than likely, probably going to be 50s from what I can tell. Let's flip it over. 3, 2, 1. Liberty looks good. Oh, it's a 1940, almost in the 30s. And let's check that under the scope. 1940, I checked on the mintage. Over 500 million of these were minted in 1940, so it's a very common coin. In this condition, you're probably looking about a dime. You know, it might be worth 10 cents, nickel to 10 cents. It's pretty circulated. But there's no errors, no die chips, nothing like that. Just a nice wheat penny we'll put with the others. Also found this 1970S. Let's go ahead and put that under the scope and check it out, and we'll look for the high 7. All right, we've got that coin under the scope, and what you want to look for is the 9 right here. You want it to be hooking toward the east, so going that direction. This is actually going down toward like a southeasterly way, and you want it pointing directly east. The 7, you want it to be much higher. So if you were to draw an imaginary line from this 0 all the way to the 1, the 1, the 9, the 7, and the 0 would touch. This 7 is just a little bit lower, so that's the lower 7. You want the 7 to be touching. There's one other thing you can check for that'll give it'll be a dead giveaway. If you look at the word Liberty, the first 4 letters, L-I-B-E, will be really fully struck, and the R, the T, and the Y will be really weakly struck. This one, it's very clear, very legible. This is way too strong to be that high 7 variety. All right, very next roll number 7. There's all of our copper so far. And I just got a penny from Canada right there. Let's take a peek. Looks like an older one, not too old. It's going to be 1970. I think that's going to be a young head, and it is. Nice little Canadian penny. They got rid of these back in, I believe, 2012. So I always save all my Canadian pennies. Also in that roll, I got my second San Francisco 1973 S-Mint mark. So we've only had 2 S-Mint marks for the entire box so far. Just had a 1999 show up in pretty nice shape. And you want to pay a close attention to 1998, 1999, and 2000 because there's an error on these that can be worth a lot of money. You want to flip it over to the backside to where it says America. And then you want to look at the A and the M right here. If it's touching, that's not the one you want. That's the common one. But if there's a big space in between the A and the M, that's the one you want. That's called the wide AM, and that one can be worth about 20 bucks in really nice condition. So these can potentially make you a lot of money. Guys, look what we have right here. We're in roll number 18. Haven't had a Wheatie in a while, and boom, I just got 2 in this roll. I'm going to pull this one over here first. Let's check it out. Man, that looks pretty good. I'm going to say 1950s. Let's check it out. The first one is 1956, and that's going to be a Denver. That's going to be a common coin. We'll set that aside. We'll look at it under the scope. And let's pull this one here. That is awesome. Man, this one looks pretty good too. But that first one fooled us. I'm still going to say 1950s though, because, yeah, 1957. So 56 and 57, both of them D. And look at that, guys. I think we have an error in this one. Look at the B in Liberty right there. I'm going to zoom in. There we go. And you can see that that B is filled in with some metal. That's a die chip right there. We'll check that out under the scope. That's awesome. We got a little error. And there's a look at that under the scope. You can see that we have a die chip there in the B. It's completely filled in on the bottom. And that's going to be worth a couple extra bucks. Those are pretty common occurrences for errors. But they're pretty popular nowadays. It used to be they weren't really worth that much more. And now they're starting to get popular to where people want to collect them. Doesn't look like I see any other errors. The 57D and the 56D, both of these have a billion minted. So they're a very common coin. We'll just check them out, both of them here. No other die chips that I can see. Let's check out this one. This is the 56. A lot of 50s, you'll see a common place to get die chips is here in the 9, here in the 5, the 6, and then over on Liberty, the most common places would be like here in the B or in between the B and the E, the R. Those are real common areas to look for die chips, so you always want to check those. This one looks pretty good. Let's check out the back here. Another area is check these wheat stalks in between all those lines there. You'll find die chips in those as well, very, very often. Very next roll, I have another Wheatie, and it is ugly. This is an ugly Wheatie, guys. It is completely covered in something. Let's check it out here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more if I can. There we go. It actually looks like the details are pretty good. It's just covered in some junk. Let's flip it over. 1956, and yeah, it is just gunked up. Look at that. Let's check it out under the scope. All right, here we go. 1956D. No die chips, no errors of any kind. It is just ugly, ugly, ugly. It's got a lot of gunk all over it, and I didn't see anything wrong with it other than it's just really, really dirty. Again, this was over 1 billion of them minted, so a very common coin. This one's probably only going to be worth about a penny. All right, we're a little over halfway through the box. There's all of our finds for the box, and there's our pile of copper there. I need to get it in a cup. And I just got a Wheatie. I have not dumped all the coins out yet. All right. I'm going to grab that Wheatie. Let me check and see if there's anything else in here real quick. That one could be. I don't think so, though. No, it's not. What about that one? All right. I think that's going to be the only Wheatie. Let's get to it. All right, let's check it out. Everything's been in the 50s. So let's zoom in a little bit more. There we go. This one looks a little bit older. I'm going to say 40s. It does have some circulation, and I think it's going to be older. And it is 46, 1946. All right, got it under the scope, and this looked really funky to me when I was holding it, and now under the scope I can see why. The 9 looks like it's really thick, but I think it's been crushed a little bit, like post-mint damage. There's no errors that I can see of any kind, no die chips. It all looks pretty normal other than it being crushed a little bit. And over 1 billion of these minted, so another common coin. This one's pretty yucky condition, I would say. Ooh, this is pretty weak back here. Almost looks like there might have been a strike through grease in there, but overall condition not too great. I would say this is probably like, worth a couple pennies. All right, couple rolls later, I had another Wheatie, and this one I've already seen the date on it. It is in very, very horrible condition like that other one that we had earlier. And I flipped it. It's a 1957 Denver. Again, over 1 billion minted. I put it under the scope, and nothing really crazy about it. It almost looks like it had a die chip there in the 9, but I don't think it is. I think it's just damage, but it's in pretty bad shape, but we'll give it a home. All right, we got 7 rolls left, and I just got another Wheatie right here. Let's take a look and see what we got. And that is going to be, man, I think it's going to be 50s. It looks really, really good. Let's flip it. Oh, and we're in the 40s. 1948 Denver. I'm looking for die chips. I don't notice any, but we'll put it under the scope and see what we got. Oh, look at that. I just spotted this in there as well. A 1952D, it was head sides up, so I didn't see the back side of it. That is awesome. We had 2 for this roll again. All right, and here's our first Wheatie, 1948 Denver. There were under 200 million minted on this. No die chips that I can spot. It's got a value of about 10 cents, nothing crazy. Let's check the back side. I'm gonna look for any die chips that we might have. And it looks pretty free and clear of any issues. It's a pretty nice wheat penny. All right, let's pull that aside. Now this one, the 1952D, I looked it up already. And this one has a much higher mintage of about 750 million. There's no die chips in the 5.9 or 2 there. The Liberty looks clear, free and clear of any BIE errors or any die chips. And let's check the back here. No die chips in the wheat stocks that I can see. Oh, look at that. There's actually a little die crack running right through this wheat stock right there. So that's pretty cool. Not much value there. It's probably worth $1. I'm pretty happy with that. Well, we're at the end of the hunt. Not a bad box. There's our pile of copper right there. We probably got about 5 S mint marks in this box. Not too bad. A couple of 59s. Nothing crazy. We did get 1 Canadian penny, a little bit older, 1970. And we ended up getting, pretty common coins to this time. No great dates. The oldest was a 1940. But we did get a die crack and we did get a die chip. So we got 2 different errors in this box. Not a bad box. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. As always, happy hunting.